call this.
Dominic, Johnson, Williams,
Here.
Lynn, Bowman,
Present.
Baker, Lynch, Escudero, Thibodeau, Cox, Smith, Everson. We have a quorum, Madam President.
Thank you. Please stand and have prayer by Commissioner Smith and pledge by Commissioner Escudero.
Hey, yes, please. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you, Father, for the time that we can come and do the parish business. Father, we ask that everything that we do would bring honor and glory to our Savior, Jesus Christ. We ask this in His name. Amen.
Amen. Please face the flag, render the proper address, and say along with me. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Justice.
Next item, Mr. Clerk.
Are there any agenda additions?
No.
There being no agenda additions, the commission will sit as a tax board review for tax assessments for year 2013.
At this time, the commission will sit as a tax board of reviewers to complete period established to hear tax assessment appeals. And now we'll turn it over to the committee chair for this tax review board, Commissioner Escudero.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Hennington, what have you got for us today?
Okay, y'all met Monday and heard 4 Lowe's people from Altus for Lowe's. There's 4 counts, 2 personal property, 2 real estate. Pinecrest Mobile Home Park sent in an affidavit because it did not come in personal. Racer Trust and Dr. Reddy's Laboratories.
Okay, none of them are here today. In that case, I make a motion that we accept the findings of the tax assessor and move it forward so that everybody can do what it is they're going to do. Second. Thank you.
All right.
Moved by Commissioner Escudero, second by Commissioner Lynn to accept the tax assessor's recommendations. Is there any discussion? If none, please vote. And that passes.
They'll still have like 10 days to take it to the tax commission if they'd like to.
Very good.
Thank you.
Charlie.
Next item, Mr. Clerk.
Next, we move to citizen comments.
Have any cards?
I have no cards.
I know you can follow on your iPad too.
Being no cards, we have no visitors, no special resolutions. We move to communiques and committee reports.
Commissioner Smith.
I put at your desk a little invitation from the Southern Hills Business Association. You can see the flyer. This is from David Cox and myself. It's this on Tuesday. And we appreciate the funds that you have been giving us each year. If you'll come check us out, I think you'll see that we're using the monies wisely. We've had 8 or 10 new businesses opened in the last 12 months just on Mansfield Road alone. And thank goodness activity is picking up there. But I would like you to come see the fair and see what we're doing and see that we are using the money wisely. And I think we'll make you proud. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you, Commissioner Smith. Commissioner Lynn.
A while back, we had a Parks and Recreation meeting where we brought up the fact of needing to plant some trees. And one of the things that we discussed was not wanting to plant trees just to have them die due to a drought. Tonight, I go speak with another fire station. Last week, I spoke with Fire Station 1 and Fire Station 7, and they both committed to compete with each other on who could water the most trees. Of course, everybody recognizes that never will there be a glitch or a falter or a hiccup in service due to them doing practice sessions, putting water on some of the trees that we hope to plant, which will be addressed at a later date. Thank you. That's all, Madam President.
Thank you. Are there any more communiques and reports? Commissioner Williams, do you have anything? Communicate?
I know it.
I'm trying to ask you a question. Do you have any communications?
I love y'all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Love you too, Michael.
Okay. I think we did have one card. Madam President, we did have one card for citizen comments to come in.
Yeah, that's what I am. Jesus told me to tell y'all that.
Jesus first.
So if you'd like to step back to citizen comments.
Are there any more communiques and reports? Administrator? Okay, well, we will step back a couple of steps to citizens' comments. Craig Lee. For the record, Mr. Lee, we start at 3:30.
It's okay, Craig.
You're lucky we like you, because we've already passed this part.
It was on purpose.
I gotta give it to the commission,
I had to
because
get you.
y'all be on top of y'all, I ain't gonna lie to
I
you.
had to get you.
Y'all are getting a package and a Shreveport Sun last week, so I'm just gonna let that filter through to each commissioner and Administrator Wilson. And I'm Craig Lee, 1035 Eustis Street, Shreveport, Louisiana. And you all's prayers have been definitely welcomed and helping me to reinvigorate myself. When you all get that, I'll start the presentation. As I said a few weeks ago, I tend to give our reports from our impact since our C.C. Antoine projects are funded under economic development. And I'd like to give a report to give a perspective as to the impact that we are having in the areas of the cultural economy. If you open up your envelope, you're going to get a nice surprise from the President of the United States, Barack Obama, in celebration of our project honoring C.C. Antoine. Each one of you have a copy of the certificate that we received from Barack Obama in celebration of C.C. Antoine's accomplishments. So we're moving this project not only from a state situation, but nationally and internationally. As we said, we're going to grow the C.C. Antoine Black History Celebration into the world's largest Black History Celebration. So you all have that, you can frame that. And then behind that, you have a skeleton report for our 2013 preliminary economic impact. There are a few other things we're doing before the year is out, but I want to put this in writing because as of this year, thus far, $700,000 has been procured as a byproduct of what we started a few years ago. Councilwoman Rose McCullough was able to leverage $400,000 from the state of Louisiana by way of Greg Tarver for the housing component that will be situated around C.C. Antoine Park. And Bonnie Moore and Community Development, which the parish is now, of course, in partnership with the Economic Development Department. They leveraged an additional $300,000. So over the past 2 years of funding that we received from the parish, we've been able to directly and indirectly have an impact of over $1.1 million to the area. If you look on the back of the Shreveport Sun, you'll see this gigantic write-up. And of course, we also celebrate the passing of Kojo Livingston because he actually interviewed me the Tuesday right before the day he died. But this was the write-up for the 177th C.C. Antoine birthday celebration. Everything that I told Commissioner Escudé, Commissioner Smith, and Thibodeau, as we move forward, as we talk about the multi-billion-dollar industry of cultural tourism, is manifesting itself. As a matter of fact, this week, as a byproduct of what we've been doing, Reverend Harry Blake and various entities have mobilized together. Stephanie Lynch has worked with them on the North Louisiana Civil Rights Coalition, and they're doing major stuff intertwining the C.C. Antoine piece. this also plays into cultural tourism. I don't know if you saw in Birmingham this past week, they unveiled the statue of the 4 little girls that were bombed at the 16th Street Avenue Baptist Church in Birmingham. Now, some people would say, keep this stuff hidden. Well, the interesting thing, if you get a chance to see the movie, the documentary Beyond Galilee, and a very nice collaborative endeavor between Tim Antoine and a Caucasian producer right out of here in Shreveport and one of our former colleagues, Eric Brock, they made a good point to say we must tell our own story. And what ends up happening when we tell our own story, we now create opportunity for other people to come to the city of Shreveport and the parish of Caddo to see the progression of where we've come from 1950s, 60s to 2013. So as I told Commissioner Thibodeau and Escade when they jumped out on a limb to support me a few years ago, I said we will make good on making this thing happen and cultivate the industry of the cultural economy specific for Shreveport, Bossier, Caddo Parish. And so this is just the evidence of that. We'll keep on pushing as it relates to the overall aspect of it. You all have our proposal for 2014, which we've asked for an upgrade from this last year. I know we were cut down to 20,000, but we'll ask for the increase because we're going to keep on focusing the attention on what actually has to happen with the collaboration that's now getting ready to happen with the North Louisiana Civil Rights Coalition. I think they're going to also take up the banner of where the House was at, Commissioner Thibodeau. There was a lot of politics involved in that, and Stephanie has been working with them on that, and we don't have any problem sharing because there's a lot of work to actually go around. But this gives you some perspective of what happened in 2013. We'll do our final report by December, and at the end of the day, I hope you guys will participate in some of the other activities that they got going on this week as it relates to the civil rights, the commemoration of the 50th civil rights legislation. And I hope you like your certificates. Thank you.
No one have any comments? Commissioner Williams, Commissioner Johnson?
Craig, as usual, I'd like to commend you and your organization for how you're handling this CC Antoine project. I know it's been on the table a lot, even before y'all got over to it, and it really wasn't handled the right way. And I'm glad to see that you're handling it the right way, and you're getting not only local attention, but now national attention with the President of the United States sending you this certificate back in. And you're really doing the community a proud job. And I'm also glad that we're also classmates of Fair Park High School.
That's right. And look, I can't make homecoming tomorrow because I got to be in Baton Rouge.
Okay.
That's unfortunate. And look, I'll close this, and I called Mike early this year, and I said, Mike, if we're going to create economic development in Allendale, we got to shut down what's going on next door to Benevolent Funeral Home.
Right.
And I told you, Lynn, and I got to tell you, whatever calls y'all have made, that has been handled because that's across from the Omega Frat House. And when we start to look at this, as we synthesize people back into the park, I had one young lady to tell me this year she wasn't going to come to the birthday celebration because her brother was murdered in the park years ago. And I said, we're revitalizing that. I said, there's a whole new spirit that's being interjected into that park. And that's, some of these projects may seem simplistic, but the socialization piece of getting people to congregate is going to be very important as you start to bring housing and businesses and whatnot. And with the frat house there, we start to upgrade Milam. We had to get that drug traffic out of there, so I want to commend y'all for that as well. So, but thank you on that.
Wait, Commissioner Williams?
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I also want to give kudos to your organization as well as yourself. You've been on the forefront on this project from maybe 5 to 6 years that I know of, and it has grown ever since. You're right about that situation in front of the Omega House. It's very dehumanizing for young people to walk through there and see that our little children that walk from school to and from school, that to see that type of behavior publicly, and nobody's saying nothing about it. And now it's going away.
Absolutely.
All the calls, Johnson, myself, and maybe Mr. Cullum and others, we stayed on top of it. I even stopped by several times and asked them by choice to stop it, but unfortunately to do it by force.
Yeah.
You know, we have a rich culture in Allendale and Lakeside. Oftentimes what the media perceive that come out of Allendale, it's not always good. Most of our great leaders came out of Allendale and Lakeside, out of that community, out of Booker T. Washington High School, which was one of the best schools in America, featured in a magazine years ago. So we got to get back to those, not urban blight, but the urban excitement about living in those neighborhoods and rebuilding and reestablishing and revitalizing and reinvesting into Allendale and bringing the people back. Because of white flight and people mobilizing themselves and doing better, we have lost that tax infrastructure there. How do we create that excitement to come back home? First, we must fight the crime there that's prevalent in that particular neighborhood. So if we can build around the momentum of what you're doing, it'll create some excitement in that community, and people can come back and feel good about themselves by living in affordable housing in Allendale and Lakeside. And I feel this would be the cornerstone to do that. Commencement on the parade Saturday, I will be participating, but hopefully we don't just stop the dream there.
Absolutely.
We must have our current dream. Martin Luther King had a dream, but what is our dream? Where do we go from here? And I'd like to see us continue not to just do things for posturing for the media, for cameras, but literally take a stakeholders in that community and let's bring it back and let our young people know about the history, about what has went on before they got the opportunity to ride the bus, to sit on the, to go in the restaurants, to be able to sit, go to the school. They don't know about their history. They think it just happened. So I'd like for you to continue to do what you're doing and keep up the good work. Thank you so much. I'm praying for your health every day as well.
Without it, appreciate you.
Mr. Bowman?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. I don't want to keep you. I sound like a broken record, but I just want to let you know that you are truly appreciated. I think what you're doing, and even with the celebration, sets the precedence and is even a model for how other neighborhoods and how other things can be done. There was no violence. I've heard only good reports from it, and you know, just to see the unity and togetherness, and I think that's what it's all about. You know, all people, no matter what it is, just come together for a good cause like that. And then it's now on a national scene, you know, from the president. So that's quite honorable. And I just wanted to commend you and also let you know you're also in my prayers.
Appreciate you.
Yes,
Appreciate
sir.
you.
And I too want to do the same thing. And I really appreciate all you're doing. Doing some good work, and really good work. And just keep it up and just stay strong.
Appreciate you.
Lift it up. Thank you so much.
I like your haircut, Craig. How can I give me one of those?
You don't wear his hat in.
You don't want to get one the way you got it.
Next, we move to President's Report.
It ain't right.
Next, we need to adopt the minutes of the regular meeting held on September the 5th.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Commissioner Dominique, second by Commissioner Johnson, that we adopt the minutes of the regular meeting held on September 5th. Is there any discussion? If not, please vote. That passes. Next item, Mr.
Next, we
Clerk.
move to public hearing on ordinances. Ordinance number 5334 of 2013, collecting the franchise fees from Comcast, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Texas.
Is there anyone here to speak in favor of this ordinance? Is there anyone here to speak in opposition? Next item, Ms. Clerk.
Ordinance number 5335 of 2013, to close and abandon a portion of Red Oak Street located Section 1, Township 20 North, Range 16 West, in Caddo Parish.
Is anyone here to speak in favor of this ordinance? Anyone here to speak in opposition? Next item, Ms. Clerk.
Next, we move to ordinances for final passage. Ordinance number 5334 of 2013, collecting franchise fee from Comcast.
Pass. Second.
Moved by Commissioner Lynn, second by Commissioner Johnson. Is there any discussion?
Here, right here.
Commissioner Williams?
You know, I'm reluctant to support Comcast based on the type of service they give our constituents here in Caddo and the city of Shreveport. I don't know how much franchise and tax that we receive from them, but it shouldn't be just about the money. It should be about the people. It don't make sense the way people have to get treated. Don't get the right return calls. They don't get a rebate when technical assistance is on their side. They don't even do anything to try to rebate the people that they cause problems for. You know, Comcast needs some competition here. You know, nobody should have a monopoly on this type of service here. And other counties and parishes have other franchise there providing a service. They need some competition. The problem is they don't own the players in the game here. DirecTV and others, Comcast, there need to be Southern Link, there need to be others where we can also collect a franchise tax on as well. So nobody should have a monopoly on doing business here. We should open it up, hopefully in the future. I would be looking at them for the next year, and hopefully, ladies and gentlemen on this body, that we take some, if it's within our jurisdiction, to take some real strong action against Comcast in 2 years to come, that we stay focused and watch how they serve and treat the people, especially the poor. In certain neighborhoods, they don't get to treat them, turn their cable back on 2 weeks. They don't get, the customer service is bad. So we need to really watch them in the future. But I'm reluctant to support them, but I will today, but I will be watching them in the future. Thank you.
Commissioner Lynn?
This is mainly a clarification of facts for anybody who is listening that wants to know. This is not a vote to lock them in. That right was taken away from us by the governor of the state, Bobby Jindal, and he has the right to choose them now, unlike the past where we had the right to accept or refuse. And so since he has chosen them to represent us, this vote that we're taking today is merely to collect our 5% fee, that if we did not collect this fee and if we did not pass this today, all this money would stay in Baton Rouge. They would still be our elected supplier by the governor, not by us. And the only thing difference is that he would get 5% more of our local taxpayers' money rather than us getting. And so this is no vote of support for Comcast. This is just a vote of support to take the money out of Baton Rouge and bring it back to give it to the people here. Thank you, Madam President.
You're welcome. Is there any more discussion? Please vote.
Thank you, Shirley.
You're welcome.
That passes. Next item, Mr. Clerk.
Ordinance number 5335 of 2013 to close and abandon a portion of Red Oak Street.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Dominique, second by Commissioner Williams. Is there any discussion? If none, please vote. Next item.
Next, we move to ordinances for introduction by title. Ordinance number 5337 of 2013, amending the budget of estimate revenues and expenditures for the Oil and Gas Fund and the Capital Outlay Fund in the amount of $700,000 for the construction and improvement of all city water lines that serve the unincorporated areas within Caddo Parish. Ordinance number 5338 of 2013, amending the budget of estimate revenues and expenditures for the Oil and Gas Fund and the Capital Outlay Fund in the amount of $612 for the construction and improvement of water lines that serve the unincorporated areas within Caddo Parish. Ordinance number 5339 of 2013, amending the budget of estimate revenues and expenditures for the Economic Development Fund and the Oil and Gas Fund in the amount of $150,000 to fund I-49 corridor land use study for the year 2013. Ordinance number 5340 of 2013, declaring certain adjudicated properties to be surplus and authorize the parish administrator designee to sell tax interest. Ordinance number 5341 of 2013, to deem property surplus and authorize the sale of surplus property owned by Caddo Parish. Next, we move to work session minutes. Need to ratify the minutes of September 16th.
Moved by Commissioner Lynn, second by Commissioner Williams to ratify the minutes of September 16th. Is there any discussion? Please vote. That passes. Next item.
Next, we move to resolutions. Resolution number 57 of 2013, adopting a plan for residential anti-displacement and relocation assistance for projects funded through the Community Development Block Grant Program.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Commissioner Williams, second by Commissioner Lynn. Commissioner Johnson?
I know Monday I asked that we check and make sure that there were no displacements. So did we check on that?
That's correct.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. This resolution is in association with our Beldegill LCDBG project, and there will be no displacement of residences on this particular project. The portion of this resolution that applies to us is towards the lower part, where it addresses water, sewer, and gas projects, items 1, 2, and 3 at the bottom of your resolution, which says that we will not displace anyone from their homes. The remainder part of it, the top portion, is for housing rehabilitation grants, and this grant is not a housing grant. But HUD requires us to have all of that language in the resolution.
Okay, thank you.
I'd like to ask,
Commissioner Williams?
when you're calculating the formula for your grants, when you come up with the demographics, is it city rule or you use a parish-wide population when you apply?
Well, we don't calculate the formula for the CDBG grants. The applications are based upon the target area that it's going to serve, and that's done through the survey process.
Thank you.
No more discussion, please vote.
Thank you, Nita.
Next item.
Resolution number 58 of 2013, authorize Caddo Parish Administrator to request and authorize Louisiana State Mineral and Energy Board and Office of Mineral Resources to accept nominations and advertise for oil, gas, and mineral leases, accept bids and award, and execute oil, gas, and mineral leases in certain mineral interests owned by Caddo Parish.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Dominic, second by Commissioner Johnson. Is there any discussion? Must be in their district.
We work for the parish.
Okay. Please vote. Yeah, I see y'all. Y'all hang together. Yeah, I got y'all now. Next item, Mr. Clerk.
Resolution number 59 of 2013, supporting and recommending to Governor General and the Louisiana Legislature development of Amtrak passenger rail service in North Louisiana.
Mike?
So moved. Second. Moved by the chair, second by Commissioner Lynch. Is there any discussion? Please vote. That passes.
Resolution number 60 of 2013, urging and requesting the United States Congress not to approve military action against Syria.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Lynn, second by Commissioner Williams. Is there any discussion? Commissioner Lynn?
I realize that this resolution 60 is outside the traditional scope of the parish's normal operating parameters. In interacting with citizens, I have yet to find a single citizen that is in favor of us going into Syria in any way, shape, or form. And just in case there's a congressman or a senator who is on the fence that's curious about what their constituents want, this message is to send to them at least what I have experienced from talking with all of my constituents about the issue. And then everybody else here is, of course, welcome to share what their constituents think of this as well. I haven't found a single one that's in favor of going in there. That's all, Madam President. Thank you.
Commissioner Johnson?
Thank you, Madam President. I have a different opinion about the whole situation. I do agree that it is outside our scope of what we are here to do, and I think it's more opinionated as opposed to what our scope of what we're doing here. So I won't support it based upon this outside of our scope. I'm not saying that I want our people to go to war. I'm just saying that because it is outside our scope, I'm not going to support it as a resolution.
Commissioner Williams?
Madam Chairman, I proudly think that we should start policing and taking care of our own business here in America. That is a war that's going to go on in infinity, holy war. The Bible says that. However, I think it's not out of the scope of local elected officials at the grassroots level where they feel the pulse of the people. And I haven't found anyone in my district who said that they want to go to war. We got 400 million people in this country that are in poverty. Seems like we ought to take some of that money we'll be sending over there to fight wars and do bad in other countries, to have a war on poverty in America. That's the war on poverty need to be here. So I don't think we ought to scope when we pass resolutions to the governor, to the president, to Congress. We just passed a resolution about prayer, taking prayer out of a program to help children. We want to take God out of everything we do. If we take God out of everything He do, He gonna take His hands off of us. He took His hands off America because we done took Him out of everything. But on the back of that dollar saying, God we trust. You know, we send a mixed signal in this country. This country was built on biblical principles and faith. And now we want to take Him out of everything we do. So now we need to let the president know on something we agree and something we disagree. And this is one of the things we disagree on. We shouldn't be going to war. War is at home in this country. People are starving, homeless, broke, busted, and disgusted every day they wake up. We don't need to be sending our men and women over there. Defend this country. Defend the poor. Stop trying to balance the budget off the poor people. Yes, let's send a message loud and clear from Louisiana Cattle Commission. We don't want war. We need results. Thank you.
Commissioner Escaday?
Echo Commissioner Williams' sentiments. I'm going to support this because I don't know of a constituent I represent thinks we ought to get involved in this mess. And I respect Commissioner Johnson, but my scope's a whole lot wider than his, obviously. I see a lot more targets at one time, so it's within my scope, and I'm going to support it because, as I've said, there's no winning this thing, and we've lost enough young American men and women the last 15 years. We don't need to lose any more. Thank you.
Mr. Bowman?
Yeah, I agree with about not going to war, but there's also a thing. I just want to ask a question. Not currently, I would not support us going. However, there comes a time, and there may come a time, where the president and the staff and and Congress may be privy to some information that we're not privy to. So in the event that that happens, you know, we can't just know everything that's going on. In the event that happens, would you all have change of view on that?
Well, we can reconsider. I would, but right
If
now.
I'll speak to that, if there's a compelling reason which places this company or our men and women in jeopardy, they don't advertise it. They go ahead and they hit. So I'm sure, I have confidence the president and them are going to take care of our national security interests.
That's the number one
This
issue.
is not a national security interest. Thank you.
Commissioner, you finished?
Yeah, that was it. I was just wondering, was there a contingency?
Okay. Commissioner Johnson?
Well, one thing I also would like to say is we're not privy to all the information that's going on in Syria and Washington, D.C. We're actually reacting upon our own opinion, not from the constituents that we serve. To do a short survey of talking to 10 to 15 people is still opinionated. And so I feel, like I said, I do not feel that we should go to war, but this is outside of our scope because we don't have all the information that we need to make an educated decision to say we support this or we don't support this. We're looking from the outside in to Washington, D.C. Now, had you talked to some of the people in D.C., the FBI, the CIA, the military, the defense, all the chief of staff, and you come up and say this, I can understand that. But this is opinionated. This is how we feel. This is coming from our heart. This is an emotional type deal. So therefore, we're voting on our opinions and our emotions to put this resolution in place, and not based upon facts, not based upon inside information, but opinions. Thank you.
Commissioner Williams?
Call for the question.
Don't you look out.
That's after you said everything you wanted to say.
Let anybody else
I need to
talk?
mark that down. Commissioner Williams called for
That's
the
a
question.
first.
That's the first. Yeah, indeed. Look at him. We need to vote on call for the question.
I'd like a second.
Somebody got to say.
Calling for the question. I already did.
All right.
I shocked y'all.
Yeah, this is call for the question. Okay, now we need to vote on the resolution. And that 2, 4, 6. It's not
Resolution
passed.
fails.
Fails.
No, 6 passes, it's just a resolution.
Oh, it does.
Yeah, it sure does.
Yes.
Majority.
Ordinance needs 7. Resolution 6.
Resolution has to take 7.
I thought it takes 7.
Not for resolution,
Not for resolution.
ordinances.
Ordinances.
Donna.
Come on, Mr. Chairman.
Or ordinance, I mean, all the
Parliamentary.
My understanding is that, my understanding is the resolution is majority and the ordinance is 7.
That's right.
Okay. Fine.
The parliamentary knows his stuff.
Yeah, he need a little help.
No, I said that. Y'all just want to listen.
Thank you, parliamentary. Next item, Mr. Clerk.
Resolution 61 of 2013, supporting the American Millennium Project for local middle and high school students.
So move.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Williams, second by Commissioner Bowman. Is Commissioner Lynch?
I was not here Monday, and I just had a couple of questions. Is a guy here that talked about this, or somebody can help?
Here Monday.
He was here Monday.
Hit the blue.
Is this working with the Caddo Parish School Board, or is it a separate entity?
Yeah, it's working with the schools.
Here.
Yeah.
Okay, did they identify the schools?
All of them, all the high schools.
It's gonna be high school?
So every
Starting with high schools, and then they're gonna.
Starting with middle.
Middle and high school
Two middle
Starting with
schools,
middle
Caddo
school.
Magnet.
No?
If you hit the blue, it'll tell you.
When you hear, didn't you pay attention?
He said middle too?
There was 2 middle terms.
I know I heard him say middle.
Okay. Click the blue.
So 2 middle schools and 2 high schools, you're saying?
11 high schools.
All the high
11 high
schools.
schools, okay. Thank you.
Is there any more discussion? Please vote. I ain't gonna talk about y'all. Next item.
Move to new business. Confirmation for approval for change in scope of project for the words in action appropriation approved in the 2013 budget.
So move, Mr. Chairman.
Moved by Commissioner Williams. Second by Commissioner Johnson. Is there any discussion? Who is Charles? Me and Grub. Oh.
Why you look better?
Hey, if it's
Y'all don't tell him I said it. I didn't mean.
How quick we forget.
Oh, don't tell him I said that. Nobody, but if anybody tell him I said that.
I think he's watching it.
He's watching it right
Charles.
That's the quote of the day.
How
That
quick
sounds
we
Michael.
forget.
That's bad.
Calling for the question.
I know.
You got Lynch on the board.
I know, she had something.
Commissioner, when you take care of the last piece of business pertaining to that, we need to go back to the resolution. I believe it's number 60.
61.
60 or 61?
60, the one that you had some no votes on,
Right.
because it does take a favorable vote of the entire commission, so you would need 7 votes.
On the
Ha, ha,
resolution.
ha. Who was right? Who was
For
right?
resolution,
Yes.
approve it.
Who was
It
right?
is in Article, let's see,
No,
3,
okay.
Section,
That's the Attorney General's opinion.
3, Section 11D,
11B?
11D.
D, okay.
With our charter.
Your charter, yes.
It takes on a
I put that
resolution,
in.
it takes 7.
Yes.
I put that long-term in.
Nah.
That's well. Okay. You parliamentarian for me.
I stood very
Thank you, Attorney Frazier. Commissioner Lynch.
I just had a few questions here. Attorney Frazier, don't go anywhere. What was the original, I guess, proposal on this?
Well, I can
We're
explain
changing
it.
the scope. I run to ask Frazier.
I'll bring it back.
Yeah, look it up.
All ordinances.
Commissioner, the original proposal, I believe, was to have young persons help with some yard work for elderly persons in that neighborhood, which, as you know, the parish cannot fund activities on private property. So that's why it needed to be changed.
Okay, so that application was received when?
No, there was no application received. You all voted on that from the floor at the budget meeting.
Right, but that was conditioned upon the paperwork being brought in with the whatever they were talking about doing.
No, it was just voted from the floor in the budget. That was not, you all did not require that an application be submitted or anything. You all approved that from the floor.
Okay, so then so that was a verbal I guess, communication to say that the original purpose was gonna be for the cleanup?
Yes, that was what was said at the meeting.
Oh, okay, okay. So now, when did we get this packet here?
This was received, I believe, in July. And, I had met with them several times between January of this year and July of this year to, kind of talk with them about ideas or what could actually, what legal purposes they could use the money for.
And so is the amount that I'm seeing on here, is that for 1 year of programming? I guess originally, the scope was for a year of programming.
That scope was for a year of programming, yes ma'am, but I believe that the way they have their application set up, they have everything set up to take place from September to December of this year.
Okay, so this $50,000 then just represents 1 quarter. So their total,
Let me explain, because you're
So
not.
their total, their total project then would be 150 if it was on a yearly basis,
No.
based on this being, the 50,000 being quarterly.
No, ma'am.
Maybe 200,000, am I doing it right? It would be 200,000.
No.
You're saying, no, I'm saying if the 50,000 represents 1 quarter, if they had started in January as originally, I guess, thought of, then that would be, well, never mind, okay. Yeah, this is prorated, I guess is what I'm saying.
Right.
No,
No. Let me,
it's not.
50,000, but the services are prorated.
No ma'am, I mean,
let me give you an explanation. May I, please? Can I?
go ahead.
This was a proposal that was approved in the 2013 budget for the Allendale Lakeside, Leopard Heights, Cherokee Park neighborhood. However, the young lady that was facilitating the grant, Miss Deborah Senior, had a stroke.
Okay, hold on, Miss Williams, let me just make sure, because I'm just dealing with the allocation of the funds here. I'm just trying to make sure that the $50,000 that we appropriated in December was for a year of programming for Words in Action.
For 1 year, it's 50,000. That was it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's correct.
And so now that we're in September,
Right.
the amount has not changed.
Right.
And there are only 3 months left in the year.
Right.
Okay, but the appropriation has not been appropriated for 3 months. It's
Right.
still at what we approved for a year.
Right.
Okay, so that's what I wanted to be clear on that. And I guess my other question was, there are 2 different groups on here that are applying for funds. 41,000 is gonna go to Grace House, correct?
Correct.
And then the 9,000 will go to, Words in Action.
Yes.
Okay. Now, did they need to do a separate appropriation, or is that kind of how we normally do these?
Well, they were told that they could partner with other agencies
Right.
because we do allow that. And
Okay.
so that's how they chose to submit it, to make sure, I'm assuming to make sure that they would be able to use their entire appropriation. But we do allow organizations to partner with each other and submit one application.
All right. Do we know if, is everybody here from Grace House?
Is anyone here from Grace House?
Yes, ma'am. Let me ask you a quick question.
Miss Pinky.
Go to the mic. Please state your name and address for the record.
Pinky Glenn, 1134 College Street, Shreveport, Louisiana, 71104.
Hi, Ms. Pinky. I just had a quick question. Because I see you all have 6 employees and you've seen 300 people over, I guess, the past 5 years. Now, do you all have funding from other sources other than, like the state or?
We get funding from community development, the state, and some federal funds.
Okay, okay. And so would this money be for something separate that you're doing other than what you normally do with your current funding?
Yes, ma'am, we didn't get state funding this year.
Okay, you didn't get any?
No, we just
Okay.
got federal,
Okay.
and it has been spent.
right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And that was it.
Commissioner Lynn,
I got my question answered, thank you.
Commissioner Bowman,
And I got one of my questions answered, and I just want to, for point of clarity, everything else with the organization and the packet as far as the goals are legally compliant.
Yes.
Okay.
Commissioner Thibodeau,
Mine's answered.
Commissioner Williams.
I was trying to bring us up to speed on why it was prolonged so long, because this is one of the first time they were doing business with the parish. However, they did not know how to facilitate it. So I asked our legal department to help make sure that everything was above board, integrity, with character, and that it met political muster, ethical muster. Due to one of the young ladies who facilitated the proposal for those communities had a stroke. Unfortunately, it's been delayed because of her illness. However, those programs allocated in this year's budget. So because of the prolonged and having to get with the legal department, make sure everything was done ethically, morally, with character, and done right. That's why it took so long for this to be processed, to be here while we're voting today. The scope of the program has changed due to they was out of compliance. Our legal department's got them in compliance, got them in moving in the right direction. And I hope from this day forward, from the experience they had doing business with government, from this day forward, that they will learn how to do process. So I'm asking, some that we voted on here in committee meeting, in the NGO meeting, also, we proved in the budget that I'll ask my colleague to continue to allow those communities to utilize these programs to help those in that particular community. That's Lakeside, Allendale, that's Grayside, that's collectively working together. That makes sense in trying to give money to everybody. We should partner more with other nonprofits and pattern after this program. Everybody want to come in after 20, 10, 15, 30. You can facilitate it and everybody work together to provide those services for all of those communities. We can only make a win-win because that's wise and how we did the process. So I would ask for your vote and your support on it at this time. Thank you.
No more discussion?
Yeah,
Please
I have a
vote.
question.
Commissioner Escaday?
This is just changing the terms. The funds have not been appropriated, have they?
Yes, these funds were appropriated in your December 2013 budget, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Your 2013 budget.
Mission school.
Anybody else? Please vote. Ooh, can see. That fails. Hold on. Next item, Mr. Clerk.
How did you get that? Get the count.
4-1. Confirmation for approval for travel to Birmingham, Alabama for Commissioner Lynn to attend City of Shreveport Economic Development Trip.
Vote against.
So moved for, let me finish my motion. For Commissioner Lynn and Lynch to attend the City of Shreveport Economic Development Trip.
We need to vote for
Wait a
them
minute.
singly, not in global. Let's vote on them separately.
Hold up. We didn't get a first or second on the first one. You made amended?
Yeah, I know he
I just made a motion.
It's already on here.
Oh, I'm sorry. I guess I'm amending it. Oh, I'm sorry. I guess somebody need to make it now amended.
Well, we first didn't get a second on the actual one that's printed on the.
I second.
Oh, you did?
Nobody made a motion on it.
So you second,
I'll make a motion, yes, that we do this, yes.
do what?
That we do, well, actually, I'd like to make a motion that anybody who wants to go that has the okay with the city is allowed to
You
go.
can't do that. That's out of order. You
Then
can
I'm-
you
then
have
I
to
make a
introduce the
motion-
motion, then you can amend
I
it.
make a motion that we approve as written.
Second.
All right, now she can.
Okay. Been moved by Commissioner Lynn, second by Commissioner Escaday to confirm approval for travel to Birmingham, Alabama for Commissioner Lynn. Is there any discussion? Commissioner Lynch?
Okay. Now I want to make a substitute motion to, for confirmation for commissioners to travel to attend the City of Shreveport Economic Development trip. I guess he said any commissioner, so that's fine.
Moved by Commissioner Lynch, second by Commissioner Johnson to amend the confirmation to add any commissioner to attend. Is there any discussion on the amendment?
Yes.
So first we need to vote on the amendment.
That's correct.
So, and that 2, 4, 5 does not pass. Now we need to vote on the first.
That's fine.
Amendment failed.
Amendment failed.
Now you vote on the,
Now we vote on the first. And that passes. Next item, Mr. Clerk. Next item.
what was the vote?
8-2.
8-2, okay. Next, we move to confirmation for approval of travel from New York City, New York for Commissioner Lindora Baker to attend the Lux Innovation Symposium.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Williams, second by Commissioner Bowman. Is there any discussion? Please vote.
Why you killed my motion?
That passes. Next item, Mr.
Commissioners,
Clerk.
before we move to the next item, our first item under new business,
Ooh, man.
confirmation for approval, passed. It was a 5-4-1 vote. It's not a
Woman had a guy.
ordinance or a resolution.
Oh,
It only
sure.
takes a majority.
Okay.
What is he talking about?
Y'all heard that? Y'all talking down there, the boys. Be quiet. You're whooping.
Under the new business,
Under
under the new
Listen to what
business,
he say.
the
I can
confirmation for approval and
Listen.
change of scope does not take a 7 vote. It's just a majority vote.
That's right.
So it passes.
Okay, so I just wanted everybody to know, because I think we thought
Because that's just a motion, not a
That's a
resolution,
confirmation. That's
not an
correct.
ordinance. It was a motion.
That's a
to
confirmation.
change the scope.
Confirmation. So it passed.
Confirmation to change the scope of the project.
Work on the parliamentary, but I was finna
No, you,
bring my horns out.
What was the vote on it?
5-4-1
1, 5-4-1.
of the president.
You know,
Next,
5-4-1.
Five,
That's
5-4, 4 against, 1
one
abstain.
abstain. It was 5-4-1.
Abstain go.
It doesn't.
Abstain
It
doesn't
doesn't
count.
vote. It was
The majority of the
majority.
members
A
present
majority.
vote in favor of it, it passed.
Well, that's not a
Because
majority.
it's not a resolution and it's not a motion,
Okay,
which
that's
would
not a
require
majority.
7.
It is a motion. Not an
5
ordinance.
is not a majority of 10.
It's not a resolution or an ordinance.
One
It was just a
abstained,
motion.
so they have no
But it
voice.
doesn't
Right.
count.
I got a question.
You still
Okay,
had
one
four.
person talk.
Thank
All right.
Attorney Fraser.
Clarify.
You still had a majority of those present voting, or you still had a quorum. And then you had a majority of those present vote in favor that voted.
Well, how do you take the?
Push your
abstain?
button. Commissioner Bowman.
Okay, I just want to ask this question. I think this is a general question. I think the people out there want to know. The money has already been allocated, correct?
Correct.
So some people are thinking that they're voting against or not for it. This money's already gone. We're just changing the scope, correct?
Amen.
Well, it's been appropriated, yes. Now it can be dispersed.
Okay.
Can't be an Indian give the money, take it back.
So really, it's,
No money.
No,
You
vote on the
finished?
money.
You finished?
yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Johnson. Push the button. Push
Okay.
the button.
Done.
Commissioner Johnson.
Okay, so you're saying the majority of those present is
A majority of those voting,
voting
yes.
and not present?
Right.
Okay.
As long as you have a quorum, it's a majority of those voting.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Lynch.
I think I'm clear. I think I'm clear.
Commissioner Vice President.
So let me get this clear. Due to the fact it wasn't an ordinance or resolution, if it would have been an ordinance or resolution, it would have took 7.
Correct.
Okay, but since it's just a simple motion, it only took
Majority
the
of those
majority of those present.
Those voting, yes.
Not present, but.
Okay, all right.
We growing up here.
Commissioner Litch.
Turn stupid off.
I'm trying to figure out how I can register my vote on this. If I abstain on the original vote, it's not coming to me fast.
Ray abstained.
You say you made a mistake.
You would have to, she would have to go back and
A
reconsider
motion
her
to
vote.
reconsider it.
Motion to reconsider the vote?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. So that would be a motion.
Yes, ma'am.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you.
And your results are,
Can't make a motion.
you're not gonna do it.
We need to do the motion. We need to do the last.
You can't just
Do the last one.
say you changed
Okay.
it.
Been saying?
You consider.
Well, that's it. Next item, Ms. Clerk.
Okay, next we move to confirmation for reappointment, Mr. Sam Williamson to the Caddo Parish Communications District Number 1 Board.
So move.
Moved by Commissioner Williams, second by Commissioner Escaday. Is there any discussion? None, please vote. That passes.
Adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Print all the votes for sure, quick.
It wasn't
Hey,
no money.
Ken.
It's already
Ken, come here.
I wasn't there. I wasn't there.